Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes on Tuesday, the 14th of January. Starting off with agronomics, which I'm ashamed to say that I actually missed. The trend line break was there from June at the end of last month, around the 7 pence level. And it's been a nice, clear run ever since. The view at this stage is that while we're above that late December peak at 9.4 pence, we could still get up to 16 pence. Presumably the stock also helped along by the recent sharp recovery in shares of Beyond Meat. On to a stock which I think I covered a while back and as a potential recovery situation after quite a long time. Got Aminex here just attempting to break this falling wedge that's been there at around the I suppose that's 0.95 pence really level. Probably going to be a bit of a dance here between the 200-day moving average and the 50-day line around 1.08 pence. So probably the best thing here to wait for at least an end of day close above the 200-day line, just above current levels, but probably to be safe, the 50-day moving average at 1.08 above that, and we could retest the October peak at 1.6 pence. Stop loss just back below the recent low, sub 0.9 at this stage, once you get in there, if you get in there. Next stock is another stock which is a bit of a blast from the past. Capex, where we're just seeing it break this triangle in the 50-day moving average at 3.41 pence. Above that, looking for a retest of late October resistance at 4.7 pence. Obviously, initial move would be towards the 200-day line there at 4.15, and if we cleared that, would give the chart a much better look than it currently has at the moment. But the triangle break is there and 3.41 pence notional support. On to JKX Oil and Gas, which I did cover last week. The highlight here, the gap through the 50-day moving average, one of the better signals that you can get, and now just breaking last week's peak at 30 pence. So looks like a clear run at least towards the 200-day moving average at 36.34 pence initially, and then hopefully on to July resistance at 40 pence plus. But the main news here, obviously, the big break of the 50-day line, the first one since May on that particular stock. Waited a long time to cover Rock Rose. This is because after the return of the stock to the market, a sideways move for around 6 months, I suppose, really. So a long time to wait there. But looks like the shares finally on their way. That's set on the basis of the break of that trend line there from the beginning of August. That trend line running through roughly the £19.20 level, so that's sort of the takeoff level. And while we remain above that, looking for a decent upside, presumably something along the lines of £26, which would be the top of a rising trend channel from the last summer at that level. Hopefully and ideally the shares don't go back below that old September peak at 2020, which might provide a tighter stop loss for those who balk at the initial breakout line there being the level as the risk management. On to a stock which gets regular updates here. It hasn't behaved that well in the recent past, but looks as though Serica Energy has got such a strong candle today that this probably can't fail, can't be undone too easily. The line break here at 130, so above 130, looking for a September resistance line projection as high as £1.60. Would be nice if at least on this occasion the shares deliver a reasonably straight move after that narrow bear trap that we had yesterday. Quite dynamic, actually, that the way the shares have turned around there. Finishing off with Velocis, and here you can see that shares hit what was the obvious resistance there, 3.5 pence. Bit of a consolidation now, but at least while we're above the 200-day moving average, 2.78, we can look for at least 3.5 pence again. Ideal scenario, I suppose, for the stock to hit and retest post-May resistance at 4.5 pence over the next few weeks. Obviously, if you're cautious on the stock, you'd wait for 3.5 pence to be broken. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.